to Director's Cut for today. We've got a number of directors here, again from the north and the south, although with today's programme we're starting in the south because it's only in the south where they have a church planting director, and that's you, Aris.
Yes, it is a great privilege to serve in this capacity, yes.
What's the great joy of church planting?
The great joy is to see unentered areas being entered by enthusiastic church planters who are breaking new ground and winning souls for Jesus Christ. This is very exciting.
You've just had a church planters exchange, yes. No expense spared. You took them to your homeland, you took them to Greece. What was the point? What was going on there?
Well, in Greece we had the church planters exchange from the NEC. And of course, we did not pay all the expenses. They shared quite a bit. Most of it they paid. But it was an opportunity to exchange and also have teaching in church planting, which was very, very beneficial for all of them. Also, we visited in the footsteps of Apostle Paul. So we took them to Mars Hill, we took them to Corinth, and it was an unforgettable day.
Okay, I'm sure it was exciting, and I'd like to go there. And I'm very disappointed, Aris, that you didn't invite the communication department to look after it. But okay, they go there, they have a good time, they learn something about church planting.
Yes.
When they come back to England, what difference does it make on the ground?
Now, this is the second NEC Church Planters Exchange which we had. The previous one was in 2008. Out of that, 6 new church plants came out because of the teaching and the follow-up that we had afterwards and the training that they received. So we are very, very pleased of what God is doing. This time, before they left, each church plant had to take 2 action points, which they should action within the next 6 months. So in 6 months from now, we have a reunion of that church planters exchange, and we will have an update of what they have been doing.
Now you can see that Aris is very excited about church planting, but when it comes down to it, just tell me one success story.
One success story is the watering hole in Toton, in Southampton, which is in the provinces. And this church plant started with the vision of reaching the majority population here in England. And during these last 2.5, 3 years that they are operating, they have impacted the local community to such an extent that if you go today in Toton and ask about the watering hole, which is the name of the church plant, almost everybody knows about it because they are running many events to meet the felt needs. They have over 500 contacts, which they have come at least once in their events that they do.
So next year, when we come to Director's Cut again, we hope to see even more of that happening in different parts of the country.
It is already happening. It is already happening. We have in Dunstable, we have in St Austell, we have in Surway, we have in London Live, we have 53 church plants and groups operating in the South England Conference, and 20 of them are focusing on the majority population.
Okay, and that's exciting news, isn't it? There is, of course, a counterpart in the north, but we talked to him yesterday, Pastor Mike Simpson. He also cares for personal ministries. But the south believes church planting is important. Thank you, Aris, for what you shared with us.
Can I just 1 minute say that we are driving now to have more lay people leading church plants, with the mother church and the pastor of the mother church coaching and supervising. And we have already now 9 lay-led church plants in the South England Conference, which are coached and supervised.
Aris, thank you very much indeed. Please sit down, and if we can have the youth departments. Those of you that have been watching this live stream of Director's Cut will know that we talked to the youth department already the other day, but due to technical reasons, part of which was the colour of the shirt being worn, we couldn't get them all here at the same time.
It was the Arsenal statement. It was the Arsenal statement. I'll make it again.
There was some southern sports fun being made last time.
Long live Arsenal.
So we're very glad. We're very glad to say that there's no more football comments, but we have got Alan Hush here, who is the North Director for the Youth Department, and he's a cricketer.
Sport again.
But also kayaking, climbing, that kind of thing.
Kayaking, windsurfing, flying airplanes, snowboarding.
Yeah.
I love flying on airplanes.
Yeah. So let's focus. What exciting's been happening in the north recently with youth?
Oh boy. Well, we've just come back from a ski trip in the French Alps. We went to Serre Chevalier. We took about 25 down there. Just came back, and some inner city black kids are now expert snowboarders, shooting down the black runs.
Wow.
It sounds like, I'm sorry I'm this old, because youth leadership is just a ball, isn't it? You just party. I saw you down on the beach last night at 11:30 eating barbecued food. I mean, is that what youth ministry is all about?
Absolutely. We're a bunch of slackers, man. We're a bunch of slackers. No, we had probably close to 600. We had 600.
It was 300 folk, but don't tell him. I was counting from the hilltop.
No. We had close to 600 burgers. That we're giving
burgers.
Yeah, burgers are given out.
People, just burgers.
I think yeah, we give out about 595. Why? Because I ate the other 5. Right? So it was a good time.
Great time.
Okay, Colin, Eddie, we have talked to you already, but some people didn't hear. What's exciting in the south at the moment with youth ministry?
I think it's definitely about the Live program for the Olympics, Live Sports, Live Health. 2012 is going to be a massive year for the church, but certainly for those that live in London and the surrounding areas. It's a great opportunity for outreach. Young people are jumping on that. We have a big day planned on the 23rd of July where we're going to just saturate central London with street witnesses and just do that whole gospel thing, taking it to the people.
I wanted to ask about that day because I just saw a report about it. In fact, it will be in BUC News this week that talks about a big march on that day. And marching seems to be the thing that the South does. Yeah. North goes knocking on doors, and the South marches through the streets.
Well, to be fair,
but you're doing both on that day.
We're doing both. You know, we're going to be taking the gospel to the people in a kind of different and unique way. We're trying to have fun with our gospel, with the sharing of our gospel. We're trying to let people still hear that message, but at the same time, we're looking at the events that's happening around. You know, we can't stick our heads in the sand because the 2012 Olympics is going to be a massive event for our country. And if the church doesn't jump on board with that, we're going to miss a great opportunity where thousands and thousands of people will be flowing across our countries. You know, Christian athletes from all across the world will be there for the taking. So it's an opportunity that we feel we can't miss. You know, on that day, the 23rd of July, it's going to be roughly a year towards the Olympics. So we're going to be sending a message of peace to the nation, and that message will be going throughout the streets of London. We want a year of peace, no violence, no guns, no killings, no stabbings. You know,
that's just a pipe dream, isn't it? Because there'll be a stabbing that night.
Well, you know, we believe in the power of God. We believe in the power of prayer. You know, we want God to put in His appearance and have His way with that program. So it's a great opportunity, we think.
Okay, and when it comes to the Olympics, and I'm going to ask you in a minute, Alan, because you don't live in London, but the Olympics covers the nation. Yeah. When it comes to the Olympics, you're talking about opening church doors.
Oh, most definitely. Big screens in the church, health cafes, health seminars, you know, doing all the things that we do so good. You know, when are we going to get a better opportunity to promote health? Now is the time. You know, we're all sports people. You know, the nation is a sporting nation. How can we miss this opportunity?
So we've learned that our Northern director is not a sporting man in terms of, I know he's got the better football clubs, but he's not a football man. But
he's got the better sporting clubs, all right, Ali.
No, we'll leave that aside. We'll just move Colin this way slightly.
Got to allow for something.
Long live Arsenal. Long live Arsenal.
Okay, Alan.
Yes.
The Olympics is in a sense a London-orientated event.
Mainly.
But is the North doing anything in terms of looking at next year and saying how can our youth be involved in some way in witness and something that's going to make an impact on tourists and local people?
Right, well, we just learned this week that the Jamaican team is going to be in Birmingham, and so we're going to look at that and see how we can connect with that. But from some time now...
You're going to be running with the best then?
I can't catch Usain Bolt. Bit too heavy for that. No, but seriously though, the youth leaders in the local churches have all been informed and encouraged to do some outreach in any way, shape or form. So we're really, rather than the conference having a vision and running with the program, we're asking the youth, the local churches to run with their own programs to create their own sense of mission.
Okay, excellent. And Eddie, you've kept very quiet. It's unusual. It's unusual.
I know.
But you're here, Eddie.
I'm showing deference to my two line managers.
Okay, so in seriousness, teen ministry, I mean, Alan has to look after both and everything, but teen ministry is your speciality. What's happening there that's exciting at the moment?
I think what's happening with the teens that are exciting is the proactive approach that we're taking towards not so much doing the large events, but working within the churches and going around the conference. Teens kind of have a sense of what they want to do. We have a large teen advisory, and they have a sense of the things that they really want to be doing in their local churches, and the teens actually know what it is that they need in their local churches. So for us, the exciting thing is about traveling around the churches. We produced a whole set of resources called Live, Learn and Share. Learn, live and share. And it's online on the SEC website, on our youth website. And it's about resourcing them in order to empower them to do all of that. And because, I mean, in essence, what it does is also feed into the main thrust, which is living intentionally versus existing. So that for me is, you know, the real exciting thing within teen ministry at the moment.
Excellent. Now, last night in some of the interviews I was doing, I did take off my politically correct hat. And so I'm going to do that just for a second this evening as well. We had a great time at iChange recently. We enjoyed that. I enjoyed the diversity of the 5 speakers that were there. One of the things I liked was there was always going to be something I would like, and there was always going to be something that would surprise me. And it didn't matter where I stood in a theological line or a diverse line, whatever label you want to give it, there would be something that would please and something that would maybe scare me or make me think. And within youth ministry, you know, there's been this talk of the north goes one direction, the south goes another direction. You know, should I be calling for a fight here? Or no. How does it work?
Especially when he's in the middle of us.
No. And he's got a brighter shirt on. But
He's got an Arsenal shirt.
But actually, is there that much difference in what you're doing, although you have a different emphasis? How does it work?
Well, the way I see it is this: we're all one family, heading one direction with different personalities, and don't knock each other.
I mean, I was asked the same question last night, being interviewed over in the teens, and I said, look, different people have a different spiritual and religious culture of the way they approach it, and really we just have to be mindful of it, respect it, and just understand that we're trying to produce the same goal, in which is, you know, nurturing our young people and moving forward.
I think, you know, going in different directions with the gospel is fine, because there's many ways to do the gospel. We're not limited. God has given us so much resource power and thinking capacity to be able to create different ways, and we've got so much written advice. So to be honest, if anyone says there's only one way, we know there's not only one way. And I think, you know, we respect what they're doing in the north, and I think the north respect what we're doing in the south. It's a great opportunity to be together here at camp meeting. It's one of the few times that we can be together.
You've used the word respect, so I'm going to ask you a really difficult question. What one thing would you learn from Alan's leadership and what he's doing in the north that you would like to use in the south?
I think the one thing that I would like to see happen more in the south is that whole trying to be focused on maybe a local area. You know, I mean, we're doing that in the local churches. We haven't, as a conference, jumped onto that and tried to, you know, because we know lots of churches are doing door-to-door knocking. You know, they're doing all of those things on a regular basis. You know, but I think, you know, where we want to get to, and maybe where we can learn from the north, is having the idea of when we create our live centres, there will be a church there that will be focused in a local area, and we would like to be able to focus in that way so that our guys are out on the streets. But then, as I say, that goes on every weekend, every church.
And very quickly, the other way around. What would you learn from the south that would be useful up north?
Yeah, one of the things that we've picked up on is that the SEC, they're really big in community activity, getting out there into the communities. So with Mike Simpson, with the task force, with the youth focus on getting trained to get out into the communities, that's what we're looking at now, yes.
Brilliant. Thank you,
Lovely.
all three of you,
Been a
very
privilege.
much, and God bless you in your continued ministries and learning, working together for each other.
Long live Arsenal.
Thank you indeed. I'm glad you got that in. Okay, thank you. And now on Director's Cut, we move up a level. We've talked with the youth department. It's up a level because they're taller, apart from anything else. The Ministerial Association, Pastor Edgerton Francis, and why has your name just gone out of my head?
Emmanuel Osai.
Emmanuel Osai. We're friends, you know, it's just old age. Let me start with the North today. What's happening ministerial-wise up in the North Conference?
Well, as you know, the Ministerial Association exists for the support of the pastors and their families, the lay folks, elders, lay preachers, deacons, deaconesses, and so on. And so what we do, we try to support them in every way. For example, we run courses for elders. We run training programs for lay preachers. Recently, we had elders retreat for our church elders. And also we had a Muslim, Adventist Muslim relation seminars for our pastors. And we worked along with the Personal Ministries Department.
And the pastors are being encouraged by what you're doing?
Oh, most certainly, most certainly.
Okay. What's happening? Is it exactly the same in the South?
Well, in a sense, yes. But the difference is that although I had responsibility for the lay preachers, we have now passed that on to the Personal Ministries Department. And so
you've got an easy life.
I wouldn't say so. I also carry prayer ministries. We've discovered that within the South England Conference, in most of our churches, the numbers attending midweek prayer meeting has dropped tremendously. So there is a need to try and raise the profile of prayer within our churches, and the function of the Prayer Ministries Department serves that purpose. And so what I do, I meet with prayer ministry coordinators on a quarterly basis. I help to give them resource and encouragement, as well as dialoguing with the pastors to actually permit prayer ministry coordinators to take an active role, so that it's not just a dull, boring, come on a Wednesday evening, just read a little passage from Ellen White's writing and then pray, but just to make it more interesting, include some testimonies and spice it up a bit.
Excellent. I've got to move on to communications in a moment, but just tell me briefly, I read an article recently that says ministers across all the denominations are suffering from burnout, and I don't think that the Adventist Church is unique. You know, we're not allowed to be alcoholics in the Adventist Church, we're not allowed to do many things, but the one thing we seem to be allowed to do is work too hard. What advice do you have to ministers and to the lay people supporting the minister in their church?
Yes. Ministry is becoming extremely demanding. We have a very demanding membership, and they seem to be calling and drawing upon the resources of our pastors. And so from the South England Conference, we take time to visit all our pastors, and we sit with them to look at their program. We encourage them to take things within their stride, because at the end of the day, it's the pastoral staff, the pastor together with the elders and the deacons that make up the pastoral team, so that everything is not just left upon the pastor, and that helps to alleviate burnout.
And a very quick answer from
Yes,
you.
I'll say we follow the same, and we've learned from the past, because there was a time when that really happened to a number of our pastors. But we now have the program whereby they can have a sabbatical. And we checked with them, we run interviews, we visit with them, and to encourage them where possible to go on sabbatical. So they can have a break, they can have a rest so to speak, and at the same time renew themselves to return to work.
Okay, well thank you very much, both of you. And if you need to know more about how to support your pastor in the North or in the South, these are your two men that I have to look up to, and I'm sure we all do as well. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. Thank you very much for watching with us, and God bless you.